It's Christmas Eve, 2025, right now. While people are celebrating with their loved ones and enjoying the holiday season, something catastrophic just happened in the financial world. No loud crash, no breaking news alerts, just an eerie, unsettling quiet. You know, that kind of silence. The one that hits when a machine that's supposed to run non-stop suddenly stops. Maybe you glanced at silver prices today and saw $72 an ounce. Maybe your heart raced a little. Maybe you thought, wow, this is amazing. Hold that thought. Because what you're witnessing right now isn't a victory rally. This is a collapse. The complete breakdown of a system that's controlled silver prices for half a century. The COMEX vaults, the absolute core of global silver trading, are bone dry. I'm not talking about running low, I'm talking about empty, done, finished. And the people running this whole operation just realized something terrifying. They cut and pay what they owe. In this emergency breakdown, I am going to walk you through exactly how a vault crisis looks when it reaches the point of no return. I'll prove to you, using official CME Group numbers, that more than 60% of deliverable silver disappeared in just 4 trading days. And I'm going to explain why the federal government making December 24th and 26th bank holidays wasn't really about Christmas spirit. It was about buying time. They locked the vaults, they halted deliveries, and right now, the entire paper silver market is waiting with bated breath until December 29th rolls around. This is the story of how Christmas Eve became a financial lockdown. To grasp why COMEX is in full emergency mode right now, we need to look at what went down in early December. That's when everything fell apart. Here's how COMEX has worked for decades. It runs on one basic assumption. Most people buying silver futures don't actually want the physical metal. They're speculating, trading, trying to make profits off price swings. So the exchange figures it only needs to keep a tiny fraction of actual silver in storage, maybe 10%, maybe 15%. Everything else? Just paper contracts. But something fundamental shifted in December 2025. The paper game stopped working. On December 1st, COMEX had 150 million ounces of registered silver in their vaults. Registered means it's ready to be delivered. If someone says, I want my silver, the vault has to give it to them. During the first 4 trading days of December, traders demanded 47.6 million ounces. That's almost 60% of registered inventory wiped out in 4 days. Let me put this in context. Normally, COMEX sees maybe 5 to 10 million ounces in delivery requests per month. In December 2025, they saw that much in one single day. By December 4th, the vaults were hemorrhaging. Every day, millions upon millions of ounces walked out the door. JP Morgan Chase's vault lost nearly 600,000 ounces in just 24 hours. Asahi Depository bled 1.4 million ounces. The drain was absolutely relentless. Here's what should scare anyone holding paper silver contracts. Today, December 24th, total inventory sits at 450 million ounces. Sounds solid, right? Dead wrong. Only 127 million of that is registered. The rest? That's eligible silver. Eligible means it's sitting in the vault, but it's not available for delivery. It's privately owned, locked up, completely off the table. So when someone tells you COMEX has 450 million ounces, here's the truth. Only 127 million can actually be used to settle contracts. And here's where it gets nightmarish. Right now, there are pending delivery requests for December 30th totaling 12,688 contracts. Each contract represents 5,000 ounces. Do the math, that's 63.44 million ounces. If those deliveries actually happen, COMEX will be left with just 64 million ounces. That's all. 64 million ounces backing the entire global silver futures market. A market that trades billions of ounces in paper contracts every single month. This isn't just stress. This is a death spiral in real time. And the people in charge absolutely know it. Before I continue, let me be crystal clear about something. This is educational analysis of what's happening in the markets right now. This isn't financial advice. I'm not telling you what to buy or sell. Always do your own homework and talk to licensed professionals before making any financial decisions. All right, back to the crisis. So, what was their solution? They called a holiday. On December 20th, President Trump issued an executive order making December 24th and December 26th federal holidays. Banks shut down, the Federal Reserve shut down, and critically, the COMEX delivery system froze completely. No settlements. No wire transfers, no metal leaving the vaults. The official story, holiday cheer, the real story? The vaults physically cannot survive another wave of deliveries without defaulting. They needed time to pressure those delivery requests into rolling forward to January contracts. Time to hope that somehow, somewhere, more silver gets moved into the registered category. This is the lockdown. No big announcement. No media coverage. Just a bureaucratic trick dressed up as holiday kindness. But the market sees it, the traders see it, physical buyers see it, and now you see it too. Let me take you back to 1980. If you don't know this history, you won't understand why today is so incredibly dangerous. In late 1979, two Texas oil billionaires Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt decided to corner the entire silver market. They were convinced the dollar was crashing. They believed precious metals were the only real form of money, so they started accumulating more and more. By January 1980, the Hunt brothers controlled over 200 million ounces of silver. They used massive amounts of borrowed money. They bought futures contracts with extreme leverage. They demanded physical delivery, and the price went ballistic. Silver rocketed from $6 an ounce to $50.35 in under a year. A 700% explosion. COMEX was absolutely panicking. Because if the Hunts kept demanding delivery, the vaults would be completely drained. So on January 7, 1980, COMEX rewrote the playbook. They rolled out something called Silver Rule 7. It prevented large holders from opening new positions. It forced liquidation-only trading. Translation: if you had a big position, you could only sell, no more buying. This triggered a cascade of margin calls. The Hunts couldn't meet their obligations. And on March 27, 1980, forever known as Silver Thursday, the price imploded. From $21 down to $10.80, a 48% crash in one session. The Hunts were wiped out. They faced $134 million in fines. And silver didn't hit $50 again for 31 years. Now jump to December 2025. The setup looks hauntingly familiar. Prices have exploded. Silver started this year around $30. Today it's at $72. A 142% surge. The vaults are draining at speeds never seen before. And the exchange is desperately trying to contain the situation. But here's the massive difference. In 1980, it was two wealthy guys using borrowed money trying to game the system. In 2025, it's the entire world scrambling to secure physical metal. This isn't speculation. This isn't leverage games. This is industrial companies, sovereign nations, and major institutions all realizing simultaneously that there simply isn't enough silver to go around. The Hunt brothers tried to manufacture artificial scarcity. The 2025 crisis is driven by actual, real scarcity, and you can't regulate away reality. If you're getting value from this investigation, hit subscribe right now because what I am about to reveal about the supply deficit will fundamentally change how you see this entire market. Why isn't there enough silver? Because we've been living on borrowed time for 7 straight years. The Silver Institute publishes yearly reports tracking worldwide supply and demand. Their data shows the world has been in a structural deficit since 2018. That means every single year, we're using more silver than we're pulling out of the ground. The total deficit over 7 years adds up to 1.2 billion ounces. Let that sink in. 1.2 billion ounces more silver consumed than produced since 2018. That's more than an entire year's worth of global mining output. Where did all that silver come from? Stockpiles. Government reserves? Private collections? Recycled scrap? But those sources aren't endless, and in 2025 they hit empty. Mining output is basically flat, around 800 to 850 million ounces annually. Most silver comes as a byproduct from mining copper, lead, and zinc. You can't just snap your fingers and open a new silver mine. It takes years of development. Meanwhile, demand has absolutely skyrocketed. Solar panels are the biggest consumption driver. Every solar panel needs about 20 grams of silver. It's currently irreplaceable because silver has the highest electrical conductivity of any element. The global solar industry ate up roughly 150 million ounces of silver in 2025. That's nearly 20% of total worldwide mining output just for solar alone. Then you've got electric vehicles. Artificial intelligence data centers requiring high-performance chips, 5G network infrastructure, advanced medical equipment. Every single one of these industries is exploding in growth, and every single one requires silver. But the demand that finally broke everything was geopolitical. Something major shifted in 2025. The United States officially classified silver as a critical mineral. This happened in November 2025 through the U.S. Geological Survey. Critical mineral status means the government considers silver essential for national security and economic stability. It means strategic stockpiling kicks in. It means potential import tariffs. It means the private sector is now directly competing with the government for available supply. And it's not just the U.S. China completely stopped exporting silver. They implemented a total export ban because they need every single ounce for their domestic solar and electronics manufacturing. Russia is stockpiling, India is stockpiling. Turkey broke import records. The BRICS nations are actively shifting reserves out of U.S. Treasury bonds and into physical commodities. This isn't investment buying. This isn't jewelry demand. This is nations preparing for a world where paper money becomes worthless and physical resources become everything. Then in December, geopolitics went nuclear. The United States declared a complete blockade of Venezuela. They called it the largest naval deployment ever assembled in South American history. The public reason was combating drug trafficking and terrorism. The actual reason was oil and geopolitical control. On December 16th, Venezuela got designated as a foreign terrorist organization. U.S. forces seized oil tankers. They conducted 28 military operations in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific between September and December. At least 105 people were killed in these operations. Russia and Iran pledged full cooperation with Venezuela. China condemned the blockade publicly. The UN Security Council held emergency sessions. This isn't some regional disagreement. This is a proxy war between superpowers unfolding in the Caribbean. And when superpowers start showing military force, investors run to hard assets. Copper jumped 37%. But silver is stealing the show because silver serves two purposes. It's both a precious metal and an industrial metal. It's money and it's technology. And right now, both of those narratives are absolutely on fire. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you think this geopolitical crisis is the real catalyst? Or is it just convenient cover for the vaults to hide their actual problem? I'm reading every comment, so here we stand. December 24th, 2025. The COMEX vaults are practically empty. Pending deliveries could slash their remaining inventory in half by December 30th. The federal government just froze the entire banking system for 4 days disguised as a holiday gesture. And silver is trading at an all-time high of $72 per ounce. What comes next? There are 3 potential scenarios. Scenario 1. The deliveries actually go through. 63 million ounces leave the vaults on December 30th. COMEX is left standing with just 64 million ounces of registered inventory. The market sees this and freaks out completely. More delivery demands pour in for January. The vaults simply can't handle it. COMEX is forced to declare force majeure. Force majeure means act of God. It's a legal escape clause allowing the exchange to stop physical delivery and settle everything in cash instead. If that happens, paper silver prices will completely disconnect from physical silver prices. You'll see COMEX silver trading at $70 while actual coins and bars trade at $100 or higher. The exchange loses every ounce of credibility. The center of silver price discovery moves to Shanghai or London, and everyone holding paper contracts realizes they were never getting the actual metal anyway. Scenario 2, COMEX convinces the longs to roll forward their positions. Instead of taking December delivery, they offer incentives to push those contracts into January, February, or March. Maybe they waive transaction fees. Maybe they offer cash premiums. Maybe they quietly call the major players and cut private deals. This buys breathing room. It lets the exchange survive through year-end, but it doesn't fix the core problem. The deficit still exists. The demand still exists. And in January, the exact same crisis repeats itself. This is just delaying the inevitable. And every month they delay, the pressure intensifies. Eventually, someone refuses to roll. Someone demands their metal. And the whole structure collapses. Scenario 3, a complete black swan event. Something happens that nobody's pricing in right now. Maybe a massive new mine suddenly comes online and floods the market with supply. Unlikely, but technically possible. Maybe the Federal Reserve announces some new policy that crushes commodity prices across the board. Maybe the Venezuela situation resolves peacefully and safe haven demand disappears. Maybe AI demand collapses because of a sudden tech recession. Any of these could alter the trajectory. But based on current data, the structural deficit, industrial demand, and geopolitical chaos, Scenario 3 feels like pure wishful thinking. Here's what I actually believe. This Christmas Eve lockdown isn't just a temporary speed bump. It's the beginning of the end for the paper-silver market. For 50 years, COMEX has set silver prices using futures contracts that almost never get physically delivered. They created an illusion of unlimited supply by trading paper. But in 2025, the physical market called their bluff. Industrial users need the actual metal. Nations need the actual metal. And there simply isn't enough to go around. The vaults are empty because people stop trusting paper promises. They want the real thing. And when you demand real assets from a system built entirely on paper promises, that system shatters. This isn't about a couple billionaires manipulating markets like in 1980. This is about the entire world waking up to reality. We do, and have enough silver for the future we're trying to build. Solar energy, electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, 5G networks, medical technology. All of it requires silver, and all of it is growing faster than we can possibly mine the metal. If this analysis is opening your eyes to what's actually happening behind the scenes, smash that like button and subscribe. Because I'll be documenting every single development as this crisis unfolds through the end of December and into 2026. So what should you actually do? If you're holding physical silver, this is not panic time. The people who should be panicking are holding paper contracts. The people scrambling are banks with massive short positions. The people terrified are exchange operators watching their vaults drain in real time. If you own the physical metal, you own the exact asset the entire world is desperately trying to acquire. You have zero counterparty risk. You have zero delivery failure risk. You're holding genuine wealth. If you're holding paper silver SLV shares, COMEX contracts, you need to fully understand your risk exposure. If the exchange declares force majeure, your contract could get cash settled at a price the exchange determines, not the actual market price. The exchange's price. That could mean getting paid $1.70 an ounce when physical silver is trading at $120. Read your contracts carefully, understand every detail, and decide whether that risk is acceptable to you. The next 5 days are absolutely critical. December 29th is when banks reopen. December 30th is when those 63 million ounces are supposedly getting delivered. If COMEX can't fulfill those deliveries, if they announce emergency procedures, if they change the rules again, you'll know with certainty that the paper market is finished. And when that happens, silver is heading somewhere nobody is mentally prepared for. Some analysts are predicting $100. Some are calling for $500. Some believe if this supply crisis continues into 2026 and 2027, we could see four-figure silver. Because eventually, industries will pay absolutely whatever it takes to secure supply. They can't manufacture solar panels without silver. They can't produce advanced chips without silver. And they can't just wait for new mines to open. The price will have to climb until either demand gets destroyed or substitutes get found. And we're nowhere close to that point yet. December 24th, 2025, the vaults are frozen. The system is holding its breath. And silver sits at $72. Merry Christmas. Welcome to the new reality. This is the death of paper silver and the birth of the physical standard. Tune out the noise, watch the vaults, and hold the metal. I'll see you on the other side of this lockdown.